Hello, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Raquel and I am going to be doing a reading vlog. I thought when I was making this reading vlog that I was gonna have so much time. I took 2 weeks off of work. I was like, I'm gonna have so much time to read so many books. That did not happen. I actually ended up being really busy during that 2 week period and barely got to read anything. I think this is the least amount of books I've read in a really long time. So this ended up being over like 2 weeks of time, which I thought it was only going to be over one with the same amount of books. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this very chaotic, very random reading vlog.
So I'm going to start off with Kingdom of the Wicked by Carrie Maniscalco. I'm really excited about a good YA fantasy romance. Let's go.
So I'm getting ready to go out with one of my friends for her birthday. We're just gonna go grab some drinks and some dinner. And I just gotta get ready because I look like a hot mess today. So I thought I would start talking to you about where I'm at with Kingdom of the Wicked while I'm doing my makeup. So I just started Kingdom of the Wicked like late last night. I think I only read like 10 pages though because I was really tired. But I'm about 60 pages in and I'm liking it so far. So if you've never read this book or heard of it, it's basically about a girl who, she's a witch, she has a twin sister, they're like from Sicily, and they are witches, and she and her sister are really close, and they have like this nana, this grandmother that's always warning them, like, oh, there's all the signs, the goddesses are sending the signs, you guys have to be careful. Like, they're like, yeah, grandma, like the superstitious stuff, yeah, got it. But one night, the main sister, Emilia, she is looking for her sister Victoria, and she ends up coming across her body. She is dead, and there's this like mysterious man standing over her, has blood on his hands, and it looks like she has had her heart removed from her chest. And of course, like, her sister Emilia is just devastated. Like, her twin sister is dead, and she's not only like just devastated, but like she's starting to get really angry and she wants revenge. Like, she wants to know who killed her sister and why and like what's going on. And this man that's standing over her body kind of like gets freaked out when he sees her, drops this knife that he's holding and runs away. And so she like grabs the knife and is just like right now kind of asking anybody and everybody who might know this man to try to get information about what could have possibly happened with her sister. So far, I'm really liking it. It definitely is a YA book. It's definitely meant for like a slightly younger audience, but like I knew that going into this, like I'm not surprised, and I'm kind of in the mood for that. Like, it's August, it is hot, but like I'm just like so incredibly ready for fall that I just like want all the paranormal, fun YA, like fantasy, and like something about like witches and everything that I've heard about it so far just sounded really good. But yeah, it's really cute, and they keep talking about the Italian food, and it makes me really hungry. They're talking about like bruschetta and like fresh bread and mozzarella, and like I love it. They're talking about limoncello, and that sounds really freaking good. All I really know about this book is that she somehow ends up like summoning one of the princes of hell, Wrath, and ends up using his help to help find her sister somehow. I know it's like a fantasy romance story, so I'm here for it. I also started reading Chain of Iron, which is the second book in the Last Hour series. And like, I really didn't love the first book in that series. I absolutely love the Infernal Devices. I've talked about this multiple times, but I really love the Infernal Devices. So I had like really high hopes for this book series, and like everyone had been talking so highly of it, so I was really excited. But yeah, I didn't really like the first one. There wasn't anything like necessarily bad about it. I just felt really bored, and I felt kind of confused because there were a lot of different characters, like too many for me to kind of keep up with. But like, I still finished it. And so I'm listening to that on audio, just like while I'm cooking and cleaning and stuff like that. And so I'm actually off of work this week, and when I'm not working and I'm not like doing that commute every day, I definitely don't go through audiobooks very quickly. And so I'm actually a little worried because when it takes me too long to read a book, I lose interest pretty quickly. But so far, like, I feel like the second book is more interesting. Maybe because like I know who all the characters are, I'm familiar with like the story, like we already know kind of what's going on. They don't have to really introduce a whole lot. But I feel like this story kind of just like picked up where the last one had left off, and I feel more interested in this story right now than I was before. Like I'm really not far in. I think I've listened to like 2 hours of the audiobook, and it's a really long audiobook. It's like 18 hours or something crazy, so I'm not very far in, but it's holding my attention for now. And I am gonna have like an hour commute today, like going back and forth to town to like visit with my friend, so I'll have like a little bit of time to read it, see how I feel. If I finish this one and I really hate it and I don't enjoy it, maybe I won't finish the last one and I'll just donate them. Anyway, I am going to be going out with my friends, and I'm going to come back tonight and read some more Kingdom of the Wicked. I will say it goes by super fast. Like I have like a hardback copy of the book, and I thought that it was just going to be really long, like it was going to take me forever to get through it, but I'm flying through these pages. The font in the book is pretty big, and it doesn't cover like the entire page. And you know, it is YA, so it's fast paced and easy to understand, and I just read it so quickly. So I actually think that I could probably get through half of it tonight at least, depending on how tired I feel or whatever. I'm gonna try to finish it between today and tomorrow. So I will let you know probably tomorrow an update on what's going on.
Hello, it is Wednesday. I didn't really read much yesterday and didn't really have anything to really update you on Kingdom of the Wicked, but I have about 100 pages left now. We went out today, did like the school shopping, back to school thing for one of my daughters, so I was out most of the day, but I've been reading this pretty much the rest of the afternoon. And like I said, I have about 100 pages left, and I really like this so far. I think it's perfect for just like starting to roll into the fall season. I don't want to give away too much, but you know, I think I mentioned the basic plot in my last clip, but this girl who has a twin sister, they're both witches, one of them turns up dead, and the main character, Amelia, is now just trying to figure out who killed her sister, why, get revenge, this whole thing, and she ends up kind of accidentally summoning one of the Princes of Hell, Wrath. I don't want to give away too much more, but there's actually a whole lot more to this. There's like a big like plot going on, much bigger than just her sister going missing. There's other witches that have turned up dead, and there's this whole big thing, and it's has a really good like mystery element to it, and I really like it so far. I mean, I know already, I think most people know that this is a fantasy romance. Like at some point, Amelia the witch and Wrath are going to be insanely in love, and I think I see that it could end up going there, but there is like no hint of romance whatsoever between them. They kind of mostly still hate each other and don't even like trust each other at all yet. I can sense that Wrath is definitely not going to be as bad of a guy as we think he is at first, and I can tell that Amelia is like attracted to him and stuff, but she definitely has no trust for him yet. But yeah, I really like this. This is a really fun like YA kind of little fantasy mystery thing, and I'm having a really good time with it. I definitely am curious to see what happens, so I'll let you know when I finish this and let you know what my next book is going to be. Hi guys, it is Thursday evening. I'm just here to do a quick update. It's been like such a busy freaking week for me. Like next week school starts for my kids, and I just had to bring each one of them out to do the whole school shopping and school supply shopping. It's just been really busy. I haven't been able to read a whole lot, but now I think the week is going to calm down. My daughter's birthday is on Saturday, so we're going to be doing like cake and dinner and stuff like that, but otherwise I think I'm going to have plenty of time to get to some reading. But I did want to give you an update. I did actually finish Kingdom of the Wicked, and for what it is, a YA fantasy story that has all the paranormal, Halloween, witchy vibes that I'm looking for, I think it served its purpose pretty well, and I did have a good time reading this. This is not like a life-altering, life-changing type of book or anything, but I did enjoy my time reading this, and I'm really surprised that there has been no like development into the relationship at all. I mean, it's clear that they find each other attractive. It's clear that they have like a little thing, but they have not once admitted their feelings, and at the end of this book, she really still hates him. So I was actually really surprised to find that there's really no relationship yet in this book. And I think that's probably a good thing, because for me, like once the couple gets together, it doesn't take long for me to lose interest. And so the fact that this is 3 books, I think is perfect. You know, I'm assuming that that relationship is going to really start to develop in the second book. And so I'm really excited about that. I will probably pick up the second book sometime next month, and I'm excited to see where it goes. I did like this. I think I settled on, I don't know, like a 3.75, a 4-star. Again, it's not the most incredibly written, amazing fantasy story ever, but for what it is, I did have a really good time. And the next book that I decided to read for this vlog is going to be Regretting You by Colleen Hoover. I'm feeling a little slumpy. I feel it coming on. I feel like I'm never feeling like reading right now. And if anybody can get me out of a slump, it's freaking Colleen, okay? I love her books. She always grips me. I actually don't know anything about this book, and I haven't even read the back or anything like that, because I just love going to her books blind. I don't know what to expect. The only thing I think I know about this is that there are 2 perspectives, and it's a mother and daughter perspective, which I've never read before. And again, I have no idea what this is about, but Colleen always grips me. I can usually get through her books really fast, and I think I just need that. I need a short, really fast-paced book that just really grips me and keeps me interested, so that I don't go into a slump, because I feel it coming on. But yeah, that's where I'm at. I've read like 1 chapter of this so far. I've barely gotten into it at all, and it's actually getting pretty late. I don't know that I'll read a whole lot more tonight, but I don't have any plans to get out of the house tomorrow, thank God. I'm just like so sick of having to get up and get ready. Like I just need a day to relax and lay around, do nothing, and read. So hopefully I can get that tomorrow, and I will give you an update on how I'm liking the book. Hello guys, it is Friday night. I just got out of the shower, which is why I look so terrible, but I know as soon as I blow dry my hair, I'm gonna go to bed. So I just wanted to give you like a really quick update, because I did start Regretting You. I'm on page 107, and I knew Colleen Hoover was gonna be the answer to my upcoming book slump, because yep, as soon as I started reading this, I was like, I'm back. And basically what this book is about is, first off, let me tell you, if you are interested in this book at all, I think that you should know as little as possible about it before picking it up and reading it. So all I'm going to say is that there are 2 different perspectives in this book. The 2 main characters in this book are Morgan and her 16-year-old daughter, Clara. This mother and daughter don't have the best relationship. She's a very typical 16-year-old girl who thinks her mother knows nothing and she knows everything. And this mother is just someone who got pregnant when she was a teenager as well, and is just looking out for her daughter. She's a little bit more strict because her mother was not strict, and she believes that's why she got, you know, pregnant so young. The mother had to kind of give up all of her life dreams to be able to make ends meet and raise this baby. She just doesn't want the same things for her daughter, so they already don't have a great relationship. And something pretty traumatic happens in this book, and both the mother and the daughter have to learn how to deal with their grief in their own ways. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. They both have their own little storyline going on. My hope is that I'm seeing 2 love stories potentially, one potential, one definitely happening. And then my hope is that at the end they kind of are able to mend their mother-daughter relationship. I hope that that's where this goes. I don't really want to tell you anything more than that, because I want you, if you're going to read this book, to be kind of as shocked and surprised as I was. But yes, I really, really like it. I'm probably going to read a little bit more tonight, but I'm pretty tired. I could see myself finishing this either tomorrow or the next day for sure. Tomorrow is my daughter's birthday, so I probably will not have a ton of time to read, but even so, like, I'm flying through this because I'm super, super interested in the story, and I really like it a lot so far. And Colleen Hoover's writing just really sucks me in every single time. So yeah, I will update you tomorrow if I can.
Happy birthday to you, and many more on Channel 4.
And Scooby-Doo on Channel 2. Hello, happy Saturday evening. I just wanted to give you a quick update. I am on page 217 right now, and I love this. It's so good. This is such a really like true representation of how mother-daughter relationships are these days. Like, it really is. It's so real and realistic. And I think that if I was going through what these characters are going through, I would act exactly the same way. Like, specifically from the mother's point of view, I think I can really just understand a lot. But I totally get the 16-year-old daughter's point of view as well. Like, I remember being 16 and 17 and a boy just being my entire world. It's all I thought about. If I was sleeping, I was dreaming about them. If I was awake, I was thinking about them, and nothing in the world mattered as much as this guy. And I remember that feeling. And it's just very interesting how Colleen does that, where she really puts you in the mind and the experience of a 16-year-old, and she's all about this guy. And then you look at the mother's perspective and it's like, wow, it's so different to think like an adult. You have to think about 1,000 things over a decision. You can't just make a decision because you feel like it or you want to, like because you like a guy. You can't do that. You have so many things to think about. You have other people you have to think about. And it just reminds me about how kind of self-centered teenagers can be. The fact that these two don't really get along or don't have a really great mother-daughter relationship is really neither of their faults. Like, neither of them has done anything terribly wrong. It's just they don't understand each other because they're just in two different times in their lives. And it's just so real. Like, I really relate to this book a lot and I'm really enjoying it. I definitely think that I will have this book finished by tomorrow, so I will let you know what I think about this book, and I'll let you know my next book pick. Hello, it is Sunday evening. I did earlier in the day finish up Regretting You, and I loved it. I gave it a 4.25 star. I think it's just very realistic, I feel like, for what they were going through, the mother and the daughter. I loved their individual storylines. I actually really loved Clara's storyline, the 16-year-old daughter, and the romance that she had in here was so cute. And I really liked reading things from the mom's perspective as well. I'm a mom, so I totally get where she's coming from with a lot of her emotions. And yeah, I just had a really good time reading it. I thought it was really cute, and I feel like 100% out of my book slump. Like, as soon as I finished this, I was like already ready to read something else. And so I did. I decided to start on Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. I actually don't know a whole lot about this. I've heard that it's kind of a mix between sci-fi and thriller. I've read like 30 pages so far, and it's like really, really fast paced, which I really like. All I know is this guy, he's a scientist, and apparently like back in the day, he should have been like a really like famous scientist. Like, he could have like won, you know, the Nobel Prize or something crazy. Like, he had like a lot going on for him, but then, you know, like life happened. He ended up, you know, meeting a girl, and they had a baby, and the baby had like medical issues, and he ended up just not really going through with that path and ended up being a science teacher at a basic college. And like one night he's out having a drink with like an old like college roommate that is now very successful, and he's just like kind of caught up in his feelings about like maybe what could have been had he gone down that path where he could have been that like really famous scientist. And all of a sudden someone approaches him with a gun and is just like, follow me. If you don't listen to me, I'm going to kill you. And so he's just having to follow this guy. He ends up having to drive out to this place like in the middle of nowhere. You know, obviously no one knows where he is. He can't call anyone or tell anyone because this guy has a gun on him the whole time. They end up in this like abandoned warehouse, and he's just like keeps asking like, what do you want with me? What am I doing here? Are you gonna kill me? And the guy's just like making him like, it doesn't really make any sense yet, but he's like, you know, makes him get out of all of his old clothes, change into some new clothes, and he keeps injecting him with these like meds, drugs, I don't know what they are. And then he's just like, you know, what are you doing to me? And he's like, you wouldn't believe me if I told you. And that's where I'm at. And then that seems like a good place for me to stop telling you spoilers, because I'm sure anything I find out after this is probably going to be a spoiler, but I'm already like really interested, and it's really keeping my attention. It's super, super fast paced. Like, I just flew through those 30 pages. So I'm really enjoying that so far. So yeah, I think I'm gonna keep reading a little bit of this tonight. I do have to go back to work tomorrow, which I'm really not excited about, but I doubt I will have much time to read this week either, but when I finish this book, I'll let you know what I think. Hi, good morning. It is Saturday. It's been a couple of days since the last time I talked to you, but I did finish Dark Matter, and like, that is such a freaking good book. Like, I have never considered science fiction a genre that I read, but I've read 2 science fiction books now this year, and I've loved both of them. So maybe I need to read some more. But this book, I don't want to tell you anything else about the plot that I've already told you, but like, this book is mind-blowing. Like, my mind was seriously blown. And one thing that I really like about it is kind of like I felt with Project Hail Mary when I read that a few months ago. I think I wasn't expecting there to be so much emotion and so much like raw feeling in it. Like, you picture a science fiction book and you think it's going to be really sciencey and it's going to be futuristic and it's going to be this or that, but I was really pleasantly surprised by the feelings of happiness and sadness and like all the feelings that I felt with reading this book too. And it almost gave me like a perspective on the world. Like, I love books where you walk away like having like just a new outlook on life and, you know, what's really important. Like, I always love a good book like that, and I definitely ended up rating this 5 stars. It is so good. It is the perfect combination between science fiction and like a thriller. It's super fast paced. It's never slow. It's just like really, really, really incredible. I was going to end the vlog here because I feel like I just haven't really read much, and it's not the best vlog because I just haven't had the time to really read a lot of books, and I felt 3 would be good. But I did start reading A Love Letter to Whiskey by Candy Steiner. It's a book that I've been wanting to read for a really long time, and I thought it'd be fun to include this in the vlog and let you know what I think. It's like a really, really thick book, so definitely going to end it after I read this one, but I just kind of wanted to let you know what I think about this because it's such a popular book. I think I've gotten like 75 pages in, and basically all I know is it's just always like right person, wrong time. And so all I know is kind of just like about the first time they met in high school and how, you know, he ended up dating her best friend, and so it was always this forbidden off limits thing, but they became really close friends. I don't want to give anything away. I think, you know, I hate giving away spoilers. I feel like almost everything is a spoiler. Where I'm at right now, they are in college, and I don't want to tell you really what's going on, but it's cute. I'm not like obsessed or anything yet, but it's only been 75 pages and I've heard such good things about this, so I'm really excited to continue reading it. Okay, so it's a few days later, and I just want to give you an update on A Love Letter to Whiskey. I am well over halfway through the book now. I would say I'm like 75%, but I'm confused. I just read the epilogue. It was the perfect happy ending, but there's still like 200 and something pages left. And it looks like now it's like going back to another moment from the guy's perspective, from Jamie's perspective. And I was like, this would have been such a good ending, and then it's just not over. It's really long, and like I do love it. Like, I'm flying through it. I really like the characters, but it is maddening. Like, I am so pissed off all of the time. Like, it's just frustrating for me that they, like, I don't know what I said before. I honestly can't remember what I told you about this book, but really all you need to know is it's the right person, wrong time thing. Like, it never seems to be the right time for them. One of them is dating somebody else, something tragic is going on with their lives, and they just need like time. It just never is right. And it's like over the span of like so many years, like from high school all the way through like their like adult years. And it's just maddening. There's so many times I want to shake this main character and be like, what is wrong with you? Like, or him. Like, there's so many times where I'm like, what is wrong with him? You know? Yeah, I don't know what my thoughts are, and I don't know that I want to share them yet until I finish it, because I want to see where this other perspective from Jamie kind of goes. And I guess like maybe, is this a special edition thing? Like, I do have the special edition. I'm not sure if this was like always part of the story or if this is just something that comes along with this book, but it was kind of confusing for me. But yeah, I feel like I just want to scream and throw the book across the room, but then like I want to pick it right back up because I want to know what happens. I really like how our main character B compares Jamie to whiskey, and I always think it's really interesting. I thought that there was going to be a limited amount of ways that you could compare a man to whiskey, but like she finds another way. Every single chapter there's another way to compare him to whiskey, and I kind of think that that's pretty clever. Yeah, I mean, I finally get the meaning of the title, A Love Letter to Whiskey. And yeah, I will tell you like my final thoughts at the end when I finish it. I don't think that I'm able to finish it today. I work and I'm just like super exhausted when I get home, so it might be a couple more days before I update you again, but I will let you know what I think. Okay, so final thoughts for A Love Letter to Whiskey. I did very much feel the soulmate vibes. I think that those two are absolutely meant to be together, and I very much enjoyed the book. I flew through it. It was a super easy, like almost 600-page book. I really felt like it was a very easy read. I was really into it the whole time. I think when I got to the part where Jamie tells his side of the story, I don't know, I just hated that it was exactly the same, like exactly the same story. I don't feel like I really learned anything extra from his perspective. Like the dialogue was exactly the same. Like I had to reread everything that I had already heard them say. And I feel like I didn't get any like information that I really feel like I needed from that perspective. Like I already knew how he was feeling from B's perspective. Like yes, you got it and it was nice, and I mean, if you really loved the story, I think it would have been cool to have like a little novella that you could maybe pick up later to read his point of view, but reading it back to back was just really redundant, and I felt myself kind of just skimming a lot. I did like that he added kind of a better ending than B did. Her epilogue was like really short and like not quite a satisfying ending for me, so I think Jamie did a better job with the ending. I think overall, I think I'm gonna give this 4 stars because I did really like it. I enjoyed it. I flew through it. I really liked the characters, and I felt the love, and I felt the longing and the angst, and like I really liked all of that, but I felt like it was a little too long. Jamie's perspective kind of was just a little bit redundant for me, and I don't know, maybe I'm just like really not in the mood for contemporary romance. Like I'm just kind of, I've read so many recently that I think that they're all just kind of the same at this point, so that could be very heavily influencing my opinion right now. But I don't know, there's just like nothing else going on in the book besides them. Let me discuss how they're meeting again and how hard it is for them to be away from each other, and they always have to be away from each other, and then the next scene is like a while later, and like we get little snippets of like what's going on in their life outside of them, but I don't know, it just didn't seem like anything else was going on. It was just romance, and I don't know, I enjoy a little bit more of a plot along with it. But overall, I think it was a really good book. I think it would just have been better if we had stopped right before Jamie's perspective. That's all. But overall, really good, and I think I'm gonna go ahead and end the vlog here. Okay, that is it for this vlog, and just to wrap things up, I ended up reading Kingdom of the Wicked, which I decided to give a 3.75. I also read Regretting You by Colleen Hoover, and I ended up rating this a 4.25 stars. On my Kindle, I read Dark Matter by Blake Crouch, 5 stars, amazing, slowly realizing that sci-fi might be my thing. And then finally, I ended with A Love Letter to Whiskey by Candy Steiner, and I ended up rating this a 4 star. I hope you enjoyed this reading vlog, and I will see you again next week.